Welcome to the Barbell Strikes Back. I'm James McDermott, joined by Miguel Porter. Miguel, it's been a long week and weekend and build
Yep.
up to this weekend. How are you feeling?
Good. Yeah. Glad that it's out of the way.
Out of the way. Yeah. It, Out of the way, it's a temporary thing, right? Because soon more things will be in the way. A similar thing could be in the way, right?
Nope.
Well, hold on. All right. Is it really in the way? Maybe it's just along for the journey.
Uh, maybe. Um, nope. But for now, it's looking like the schedule's fairly empty.
The schedule. Hey, there's something to be said about an open schedule. I'm looking at October, and after October 10th, there's nothing on my schedule except for the holidays. And I'm inclined to maybe keep it that way. Just coast
Yeah.
out the last 3 months of the year and be like, you know what? I'm doing nothing outside of like just work and things. And are you thinking on keeping August through the rest of the year fully cleared?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing of like something always pops up at crazy times. I mean, I don't even know at this point last year if I knew that I was going to India yet. Maybe I
Hmm.
like found out or was figuring it out like this weekend, this time last year. So, yeah, things just pop up and you know,
They do,
yeah,
which that's not a bad thing. Imagine if you're in your life, nothing ever popped out. It's just the same all the time. You go to
right.
work, you go back home, you go to the grocery store, you go to bed, you wake up. That kind of seems worse. Way
Yep.
worse.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. It's good for things to pop up. And when things pop up, you can't say no. You don't have to say yes all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we both have, to a certain extent, or at least I've experienced a lot this year, the not the FOMO, but like it's like that night before or the day of. It's like the fear of doing. It's like, oh, I gotta leave the house. I gotta
Hmm.
go do the thing tomorrow now. Instead of like, because whenever the event or whatever it is pops up the night before, you're like, boy, I really would love it if this was just a free weekend, if I was doing
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that happens a lot too. And to be more specific, to dive into it, yesterday on Saturday, you did your triathlon.
Yep.
It was a supposed to be a swim, bike, and run. Although the your prayers were answered. It's crazy the way this whole thing worked out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know about really this aspect of the sport. I never really thought about it before that this could be a thing where if conditions aren't right, they'll just cancel one portion of this event. And 8 a.m., super thick fog over the lake out there, Crystal Lake. And they kept delaying and delaying. And then finally, it was decided it was going to be a bike run event instead of a swim bike run event. Did you know in advance that this was a possibility, even before this weekend?
I knew it in terms of triathlons.
Hmm.
I didn't expect it for this because it's a lake, and by like lake, it's pretty. I don't even know what is a pond smaller than a lake, but it's
Yeah.
like I would say like our section is pretty calm. It's like a pretty big circle. I think it kind of lets out at a point, but the
Yeah.
water is really calm there as well. So I always knew that like for triathlons, like of course if there's like a storm and waves are like if you were to do it's like when you go to a coastal city and you try to go to the beach and like the flag is at a something so you can't get in the water in certain areas. So I knew that those things happened. Um, and actually, one of my friends who was at the race yesterday, he was doing a kind of like a practice Olympic triathlon or maybe a half Ironman earlier this year. And yeah, he did his practice swim like the day before, and the day of the morning of the swim got canceled because of
Mm.
the conditions of the water at the time. So yeah, again, I knew that it could happen for triathlons. I just didn't expect it to happen for this one.
Is that
Like even
is that
driving
Jim?
up, say
Oh,
again.
no, continue.
Um, so like even driving up, I saw the fog driving in, but I haven't been to the lake in the morning ever. So I don't know. So I mean, I saw it and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy," but I didn't expect it to be. I figured that like, oh, this is probably just what the lake looks like in the morning, and then it'll clear up. And then like time kept going, and it was not moving at all. Um, and then yeah, it started to look like I started to hear like the whispers and whatever, and then yeah, it just ended up working out that way. But yeah, I mean, I mean, there's the ironic like Crystal Lake lore, like Friday the 13th-ness of it. And then there's like already not being a person who's confident about the swim, thinking about going in with like very low visibility is like, that is super dangerous. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I wonder what level of fog they would have allowed for everyone to swim still. And if like, and then what level I would have been comfortable swimming in. Because as someone who's like, I'm not confident, like I want people to be able to see me at all times. I don't know if that would have worked for me.
I think that they would have wanted it to be pretty darn clear. I
Yeah.
because there were a lot of people there of all different ages and abilities, and just kind of like looking at the crowd. I really think that they would have wanted it to be like, oh, it's just like a hazy mist above, but the
Right.
water below is pretty clear, which it's weird when like the fog does stuff like that, where it's like half and half above and below, or it's just a weird thing to look at. So I think so. So let's say the fog did stay, but they were going to allow it, but it was like still like like not crystal clear, but like according to them safe. What would you have done in that situation? Would you have requested maybe to do just bike and run? And I don't even know if that's an option for you as an athlete, or would you have just been like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah, I think I probably would have figured out a way to just do the last two. Um, just because I mean, I'm even thinking my group, my wave was a gray swim cap. And like with fog also, I don't know. I just with me in my level of like I need to get comfortable first. I don't know. It would have had to been very near clear, like fully for me to go in there. Um,
Mhm.
just because like the visibility was really close to zero. Like you couldn't see anything in front of you. Um,
Now, for
and
anyone
with
like
already
listening, oh, and I don't know if there's any pictures out there. Just imagine like a whiteout in the snow, where like you're
yeah,
driving and you cannot see like in front of your car. That's exactly how it was. Like you could see it was just a wall of white right at the shoreline and nothing else.
because I mean they had the even like the bigger buoys for the end side of the swim this time around, which they didn't for the practice swims. And yeah, those were bright orange, and you couldn't see them at all. And you already have the lower visibility of like through the water than you would in a pool for an open water swim. And then thinking about like, all right, time to peek my head up to sight, and peeking your head up and not being able to see anything would have been insane. And yeah, again, I it's really just a safety thing. Like no matter how confident you are as a swimmer, like one, you'll probably get more off course and spend more energy. And then thinking about if an emergency does happen, like even the anxiety of being one of the lifeguards or someone on a kayak, and you might hear something, but you have no clue like how close you are, how far you are, where this person is, other than sound, really. Um, so yeah, there was no way I don't think that they could have done that
Yeah.
swim. They really
And
wanted to though.
And being in the first heat, and you still being like a beginner swimmer with very little open water experience, that would be pretty intense. Like, all right, it's
Yeah.
foggy. You're in the first one, which means, you're only going to be going so fast. There are going to be people in heats 3 and 4 that are going to catch up to you and pass you. And with all the stories we've heard in this type of endurance race, people are not very courteous in the water. Like
No. Yeah.
Kate Corbett, a Albany CrossFit alumni, shop's wife now, she was there and she told us a story about how on one of her Ironmans, someone was doing a butterfly stroke, or no, not butterfly, breaststroke in front of her, and she got too close when they were winding up their legs, and they kicked her in the chest, and she like got pushed back in the water 4 feet. Like that's a hard kick.
Yeah.
So it happens all the time. So yeah, it definitely would be rough, to go in the first heat.
Right.
It's almost as if they should like classify, and I don't know why they don't do this. Hey, you check a box on your registration. Never swam or very little open water, beginner,
Right.
first triathlete. Oh, you're going dead last at a delay.
Yeah.
So that way it just doesn't matter. I wonder why they don't organize it that way.
Yeah. I guess we can get into that more later, but yeah, I think the way that these events typically, I mean, I think marathons, they might have a mixture. I think those are more time based, like you can enter your time and that kind of puts you in certain levels. But
Hmm.
yeah, this whole thing of like men's certain age group, they always go first, and then women have to like catch, and it definitely changes the sport overall for different groups, I think.
Yeah.
Um, because they want to give like the fastest like a clear shot so that they don't have to go around people. But then if you are someone like Kate who's better than 99.9999% of anybody, um,
And
then
she finished
you're,
sixth overall and first in the women. There
yeah.
were
So
only
it's
the only
like,
5 times before her were just 5 men. So it's like, why not have her go first?
and you have to think she got that placement having through everyone in the heats before her. So men's 40 and under, all of those people, and then men's, I think 40 to like 50 also, or like 55. So she had to go through two separate men's heats of weaving through people on the bike in order to get that time. So imagine if she does go first, does she have the fastest time? So it does change the sport, definitely.
Yeah.
I was surprised when they sent out the waves for the swim because I thought it was almost like self, like you put yourself where you think you would be.
Hmm.
Um, because I would never want to go out first in like the same way of like, I don't want to get in people's way, and I also don't want people climbing over me. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, that's like when I did
yeah,
my hike, and there's obviously serious people that are running the mountain, you know, for multiple loops. I would just like I'm getting out. Like when I saw them coming, I'm like, nope, it's time for me to stop. I'm gonna get off of the way, let
right,
them go. So it's like, yeah, like you don't want to be in anyone's way, and you also don't want to put them in a position to like have to move you or maneuver around you. Like for
yeah,
me, if I didn't get out of the way, well, some of these people, like, I mean, they're taking their race serious. They might get too close, and I'm like, I
right,
don't want, I can't afford to fall on this, like, or anything
hmm,
like that. So I'm just like, nope, I'm out of the way. Like, what I'm doing isn't as serious as what you're doing.
right, yeah,
It is interesting too, just to go back a little bit with the swim caps. It it's surprising that like dark colors are allowed. Like, why wouldn't it just be like everybody's wearing neon yellow, green, orange, pink
yeah,
caps? I know I understand everyone wants to wear black. Black looks cool, but it just doesn't make any sense on in open water. Like if we're in a pool, fine, wear whatever you want.
yeah,
But it kind of seems like it should be like, oh, it make them all neon colors. Even with the
hmm,
bodysuits, the fact that like people have just all black bodysuits and you just have black swim cap. Like, of course, again, everyone wants to wear like a black singlet. You rarely see like bright colored singlets in weightlifting. Although there is one local lady to Central New York that has a bright yellow one, and that sticks out because you're like, whoa, we rarely see people like with that
Yeah.
confidence. But in the water, I'd be like, nope. The rules in the sport is it has to be seen from space, just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. I mean, when you're purchasing a wetsuit, the options are essentially black, and then like what accent color would you like? Maybe.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you might get a strip of like gray, silver, you might get a little bit of pink or neon green or something. And that's maybe like a little bit of blue, but like that's really it. All of them are sold like at a base of it's black, which I'm sure I could probably look into, and there's probably a reason for that. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Well, I imagine
even the
sales
practice
and
swims.
people wanting to do it, like look at our sport, like a singlet is a barrier to people doing it. But I feel like people would want to still do this endurance type sports anyways. Like there's just because
Mhm.
of the activity of it, there is like a perceived lower barrier of entry and not like, I mean, there is technique, but not like lifting technique or something. I wonder if it'd be it's like, all right, make it black in the areas that people care about. Like, all right,
Mm.
the hips, the belly and stuff like that. But all right, the sleeves and everything are still going to be like bright neon, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
Hmm. But yeah, I mean, they really wanted us to swim, clearly. I don't know if in the history of the Crystal Lake Sprint Triathlon, if they've ever canceled the swim before. Um, because I mean, they went from, and I mean, I think you were there for all the announcements, but
Yeah.
they did the initial 15-minute delay, and then they came on and said that they're going to do, and then there was even talks of, because there's supposed to be a practice swim as well,
Hey, you're
like
breaking
just to
up just a
warm
little
up.
bit.
And okay, um, am I don't know if I'm clear enough.
Uh, I don't know if it's I don't think it's internet. It sounds more hardware, like something with the
Hmm.
like the your mic, or maybe it's getting bumped or something.
Um, but yeah, I mean, where was I? Yeah, so they were gonna knock out the practice swim potentially and just have it go at 9, the latest, and just have everyone go, which I also don't know if I would have loved. It probably would have been same for me either way, but I don't know. I feel like, and they were probably weighing this as well of like going back and forth, but yeah, where you get to the point of, are we rushing this? Are we trying to force this? And what does that do for the safety of the event? Um, but yeah, I mean, the start did get pushed pretty significantly before they made a decision anyway.
Okay, sorry. I
Yeah.
think it is your internet. Are you are you
Okay.
connected to your Wi-Fi on your phone? Maybe just see if less devices are connected.
Sure.
That's what I do. I always disconnect my phone from the Wi-Fi just so there's less things competing.
Yeah. Um. Okay.
So
We'll
could you
see.
just repeat that last little bit?
Um. Yes. What was I saying? Um.
I don't know.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, they wanted to do it, but I'm sure they had to decide whether it was worth it, and if they were trying to overly push this,
Hmm.
um, and just ultimately make the choice that's the safest.
I will say everyone reacted to it, at least as far as I could see, very positively. I think it's an expected thing in the sport that something might get cut if conditions aren't safe, and of course, everyone wants safety. I was joking about how we kind of can't do that in weightlifting. Like, let's say if the meet is running like crazy long, you can't just be like, no 2-minute clocks, we got to keep it going. and there'd be a revolt if we did anything like that. I'm like, oh, no time for clean jerks. You're only doing snatches today. So it is cool that the sport has flexibility built in like that, where if something doesn't seem right, they can kind of cut it out.
Right.
Hmm. Now, I mean, it is funny too. We should bring it up. Like, you were most nervous about the swim, and the swim got cut. And also the last couple races that Kate has signed up for, she mentioned, or Schaff mentioned, that those swims also got cut. So it happens more frequently than you would think too. I wonder, because like an Ironman is huge. People really train a lot for that, and it's expensive too. That's where I would be nervous as a like a someone who's running an event. Be like, all right, everyone traveled here from across the world, and they paid $10,000 to do the event, and all kinds of other crazy things, and you can't swim today. Like, boy, like at Crystal Lake, I'm sure it's low pressure, but can you just imagine having to do that?
Yeah, like again, I think it's something that once you get into the sport, you realize is something that can happen. And I think it's your choice of, like I said, I think there are people who choose them because they don't love the swim and they know that this location, this time of year, it's likely that this swim could get canceled.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's part of it. I think when you sign up for a race, you have to know, does it even make sense to do it in this city if I really want to do the full thing? Because they're typically all going to be around the same time of year. And weather's, I mean, we're in a weird stage with climate right now.
Yeah.
But it's pretty predictable in terms of what happened last year. What will the weather be like again this year? I think something like fog is a little bit different. Um, but yeah, otherwise, I think
And
it's very common to
it
kind
was
of
it was
predict.
like that when I was driving in from Boston the night before. It was really, really thick, and I didn't really think anything of it, that like it would continue and also be further out where you were. I but it's good, like they have it built into the sport, this understanding, and I
Yeah,
wish I do wish we had that in weightlifting a little more, because people do get bent out of shape when a weightlifting meet runs longer than people think it should, or sessions are delayed and things like that. And it seems like people are just, I don't know, less understanding in our sport. Like they expect it to be perfect all the time.
yeah,
But it's running any event isn't perfect. It's a lot. There's so many moving pieces. And with triathlon, nature's involved. So at least we don't have that problem in our strength sport,
right.
unless we were going to do a meet outside and then it rains. It's like, oh boy, all right. And then, okay, James didn't bring any canopies or buy any canopies. All right, that's a problem. That's
Yeah,
a different kind of mistake. But yeah, I like that aspect of the sport, that it's kind of like, it's part of the game, you know. Would they still have
yeah.
swam if it was raining, or what happens if it's raining? Do you know anything about that?
You still swim. I think it's
Okay.
just if there's like thunder and lightning.
Hmm. And you'd still do the bike, you'd still do the run. So you just do it in the rain.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. Yeah,
Okay. That
I'm sure with that there's also a level of, you know, that's too much certain, of like if it's raining past it. I'm sure there's like visibility and things that they take into account as well.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, like feels coming down really hard. Yeah, it's every year that we've been there, because we've been there 3 years in a row now. We had Abby and Maria do it first, then Josh did it, and then you did it, and Kate probably did it before that too, a
mhm.
bunch of times. So yeah, it's we've had an interesting mix of weather. We've had like a little bit of rain, we've had hot and muggy, and this year we had the fog, which the it was really cool. Like that had to have felt good. Like the temperature
Yeah,
was great. It was the best out of all 3 years, I think.
yeah. And that's another piece of it too with like wetsuits. And although we didn't swim, whether a race is quote unquote wetsuit legal, because I believe last year it wasn't wetsuit legal.
Wait, what was that? Wetsuit legal?
Yeah. So if the water's past a certain temperature, wetsuits aren't legal in terms of your like placement and ranking, but you can still wear it. And then that's another point, you can't wear it because of safety. And so this year it looked like it just clocked in right under. So they put it on a board and it was 77.9 degrees and the cutoff is like 78.1. So I'm sure they like looked for a cool spot as well to kind of take that.
Just move the thermometer around. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I've seen them do it during some of the practice swims, and I feel like some of the temperatures during the practice swims were like in the 80s, maybe.
And this is for safety. Like if the water's too warm and you're wearing the wetsuit, you could overheat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
But again,
that's
I
cool
think
too.
that's a location thing as well, where if you're always going to be doing an event in August or September, that's when the water is at its most warm for the summer. And certain locations, just if you're always going mid-September, it's always going to be above that temperature. But other places, depending on how large the body of water is and all of that as well, also factors in.
And as an athlete, it sounds like this is kind of a skill that you would develop over time and be ready for oh, nope, can't use my wetsuit. Got to do it without it. Can't rely on that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Those equipment changes are hard, especially when maybe you've done, I mean, and that of course lends into you should be training with and without it. And
Yep.
we definitely know how that goes in weightlifting. Yeah, you should be able to do some clean and jerks without your belt. What happens if you forget your belt? We can't do this at all. What happens if you don't have your wrist wraps or stuff? Like we can't be overly reliant on the equipment all the time because
Yeah,
sometimes things break or you forget them.
definitely.
So we didn't get to do the swim. And are you a little bit disappointed? Like now that we're past it, you would have already done it. So like, are you at this point like, had it held up, I would have gotten through it. Here I am on the other side, and I kind of wish that I did get to check that box.
Not that much. I guess, yeah, at the end of it, I mean, I could say that I did all three, but to be honest, the fact that I started putting on my wetsuit, to me, I did it. Like
Yeah,
I was going to. So,
you
you
did
know,
everything you possibly could have. Did did,
right.
did you go dip a toe in the water? Just like, oh, we got it.
I did not. And
Okay.
I don't, hey. But yeah, I think like essentially like lacing them up. Like I was going to go out there regardless of what that would have been. So yeah, I don't really need any, like I was
Well,
there on the day and I
yeah,
didn't
you
want to
were.
be at
Yeah,
very,
you.
I tried to back out at many points. So the fact that I ended up there that morning with with the wetsuit up with just my arms that I need to put through means that I went for it. So yeah,
Does it help that you knew people were coming to watch you? Like, imagine like we're all there and we're like, "Where's Miguel?" And you text us all like, "No, I decided I'm not going to do it." Like you kind of have to come a little bit because there's so many
yeah,
people that are coming.
it's and it's funny because there were more people that were supposed to come, but like last minute things, like there was a small storm that happened the day before. So like one of my friends that was there, like she lost power and their basement flooded.
Mm.
So her husband was also going to show up, but he had to like deal with all that and other stuff. And yeah, there were so many people that I've been telling people since I thought about this. So there were people that I was like, if I'm backing out I don't even know how many different people I have to text and tell them that I'm not doing it. So then I had to.
Yeah. Well, this is an
So
important
yeah,
part of goal setting and anything. Tell people, announce it to the world, because then it
yeah.
is harder to back out. Like I did not want to do my hike when it finally came up. I was like cursing myself. I'm like that like random March night when it popped up on your phone and you're like, "Oh, I'll do this." I was like cursing that James. I'm like, "Why did you do this to us?" You know?
Yeah.
And no one was out there. I easily could have not done it and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But definitely when you tell people like, hey, I'm doing this, and they're like, oh, I'll come watch you, that changes everything. Or at least if you announce something, then people ask you and follow up with it, like, oh yeah, how's your such and such training going, or this thing you were working on. So that's an important thing to not keep things entirely silent.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, I have no desire to sign up for another race that's coming up like next month, or I did it this year. It's
Well,
checked.
yeah, yeah, this year, but there's always next year. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about next year and other future years in your career here, as an
Yeah.
endurance athlete. So we didn't get to do the swim, and then they announced, okay, we're going to bike and run, and now how everything's going to flow. So they moved everyone down by the road and lined everyone up in their flights, and everyone got in their bikes and did their equipment changes. And then on a 5 second or ish interval, they started letting people go through. And now we're onto the bike. So let's talk about your bike experience. One, you're going into the bike fresher, having not done the swim, maybe even a little bit relieved that the swim just wasn't a thing. The temperature is great, so it's not hot and humid or anything like that. What's going through your mind now as you're in the queue, like the long line waiting to start the bike?
Well, similar to what I was thinking with the swim, it maybe complicates things a little bit because I'm not sure where I am. I know that I'm a weaker biker relative to, people who bike and do
Mhm.
triathlons. So I guess my other thing there was, you know, getting sent out and then having a bunch of people pass me then as well. Just because I don't want to be in a crowd
Yeah.
um, while doing this. I mean, again, that's part of the sport. So there's that. But I mean, at that point, I did the full ride, like a practice swing on Tuesday, and I knew it. So all I knew is that it was going to be brutal, but I could physically do it. Um, so yeah, that was really it. Of one, just thinking like, okay, there's going to be a bunch of people around me. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Like there's so many different levels. One of like experience on the bike, and then just bikes in general. The bike doesn't necessarily make the race, but you can tell that it certainly helps some people to have a better bike. Um, but yeah, I mean, going
Well,
into it, it was just
your
like,
bike
okay,
is new, right? Or is it like a different type of bike?
no, it's like vintage.
Oh,
Like it's really old, probably like 90s.
oh wow. Okay. So the technology's different because we did see, yeah, I guess we did see one guy that had these blacked out wheels, or like it was one solid looking
Yeah, yeah.
piece on the back.
Hmm. Yeah, there are definitely so many. I mean, I think there was a guy who's like on a mountain bike or like like thicker wheels, all those things. Like even the handlebars are different. And I mean, if you can do it, you can do it, but it's definitely going to be different.
I'd want to be the
Um,
guy out there on a tricycle, just like hitting the little ring ring, just going out there.
yeah, so I don't know. I wasn't really as nervous. Everything now was I know I can do it, but it's going to hurt. I knew that for sure, and it did. Um, but yeah, the bike is interesting just because I don't know if I don't I mean, I'm sure that there's like some bike quote unquote race etiquette things. I know the like get out of people's way. If I'm passing, pass on the left, let people know if you're close to them, things like that. But
And there's
I don't
probably
know.
hand
I saw some
signals
things
too,
out there.
right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't necessarily do that in this. I guess
That's
that's
just for
more for
for
like
cars.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, there were some things that again, this course is extremely hilly. Um, there were people that stopped for sure on hills. People approached hills differently and how they kind of went about it. I don't think I saw anybody else walking up the hills like the hills that I was walking up. Um, and maybe those people were behind me. I don't know. But
Were
I don't
you
know. I
walking
feel
because of conditioning, like metabolically, or muscle stamina, or both?
it's definitely a muscle thing, but I just don't. There were some things that I think it's my newness in the sport that I just don't understand. Like to me, it doesn't make sense to drop to the lowest gear and only get up a huge hill going like 6 miles per hour or less and like having to pedal consistently. Cause I mean, at the lowest gear, your pedals are just going to be spinning, crawling up the hill, but you're staying on the bike. I would rather just get off the bike and walk it up the hill. And then I'm saving my legs a little bit. Um, and I can still breathe. I can reach down, I can grab my water bottle and do that as I'm like still moving. Like I wasn't stopping. I'll say that. Um, but I mean, other people have like the clip-in shoes as well, so they can't really step off the bike and get back on as easily. But I don't know if that's like a race etiquette thing either. Of people don't. Maybe it's like frowned upon to get off of your bike and continue forward. Um, I don't
Yeah, I
know,
was wondering
but
about that. Like if you were someone who like, oh, I'll just put the bike on my back and run, and get through that way and then switch
right.
back and forth. Like, does it defeat the spirit or the purpose of that part of the race? Because it'd be kind of like you're on the run now and you hop on a bike or rollerblades or something.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, but it was interesting to see. I again, for me, I'm looking at certain people and I'm like, I don't get the point. Like you're barely getting ahead of me going up this hill, but I can see you're using so much power. So when we get back to the flat, I'm passing you again, and then when we're going downhill, I have more to go down faster. Um, but yeah, maybe that's again just a new to the sport type of deal,
Yeah.
and I not
When
even
it's not
really
like
knowing
not like there's
like
officials
what
out
to
there
do
that
to
are
get
gonna
up.
flag you or something, right?
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
With your position on the road, like my mind goes to, I would want to be all the way to the right, like right where the edge of the pavement is. That way everyone can just go around me on the left. Like where were you on the lane? Are you staying mostly in the middle and moving when you need to?
Well, I mean, you are biking not in the road. Like you would be to the right of the white line so that cars can just go through, ideally.
Mm.
Um, but also, you don't want to be the furthest over to the right because that's where the road is bad. Um,
Yeah.
in all, I mean, even if you think about like rocks getting kicked up into the side of the road and all the debris, glass, anything like that. Um, so yeah, it's a mix. Like it's your comfortability also of you know
I will say the people on the cars were crazy as we were watching. And some of those people just do not care at all. That like they're just
yeah
like going right through, and there's runners on the right and bikers on the left and spectators and little kids run, and like these people were just coming through. And so I just couldn't help think like, why not like block this whole thing off. There's another street right on the other side, and that's actually how I got there, was through the other street.
Yep.
So I just don't understand why they even allow cars to come through at all and not be like, no, you got to go down the other way. I just found that very interesting. I know it's a
I mean,
residential
that's
area and stuff like that, but it should kind of be
right.
known that, like, hey, there's an event going on and you've got police and fire here, and they would be able to control that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that small stretch is nothing for the race, at least. Like you're fine when you're there, but I mean, on the road, like you're on the road.
Yeah.
In driving up there, you're like, oh, these are windy roads and they're fast. Um, but I mean, the cars aren't necessarily too big of a problem. Um, but yeah, I mean, safer isn't always safer. Like over to the right, especially when we got to the hills and you're climbing and you're, maybe moving a little bit more side to side because you're digging in a little bit more, you probably want to be more in the road because that's where like the little divots are and little cracks in the road. And if you're moving, like you might fall off your bike by hitting the wrong thing as you're trying to climb uphill. Um, Anything that slows your momentum as you're going uphill also might get you off of the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you feel it? Like, lot like, oh, my quads are getting lit up right now.
Yeah, it's my right quad and my left hamstring and like left behind the knee.
Hmm. Is that the, I mean, actually, you've blown out both those hammies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So it's not one
Um,
specific one.
yeah, I don't know. As I was going downhill and you're like going really the thing. I mean, as you're going downhill, I stopped pedaling past a certain point, and I just let myself kind of go. And I was finding that my resting position, my right side was up and my left side was down, and then I could feel the
Wait,
pressure
say that again.
on my quads. Like the resting position where I'm just going downhill. My right side was up and my left side was down, so I could feel that pressure in my quads even while going downhill.
Mm.
So I would try to do the opposite to try to get that back. But
So right
yeah,
right quad, left hammy, and behind the knee. Those these are definitely connected. On like one of those is the issue, and the other one is like really compensating to keep
yeah,
things
yeah,
together. That's very when you split jerk, it's right leg forward or left leg forward?
left forward.
Left forward. Okay, interesting. So the back, the right hip would be on extension. Interesting. Something to puzzle to think about here on
Yeah,
what needs to be released, what needs to be strengthened and do stabilized a little bit.
yeah. And I mean, I haven't done like bike fitting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And even like adjusting, like I got the bike and I was like, this is it. Like even Nyla was saying at the end, like, oh, your bike seat looks really uncomfortable. And I was like, I don't have time to even think about that for this. Like I was really thinking about maybe getting another one. And then I was like, we'll decide after.
Well, you got this
But all
bike
those
off
things,
of
all
Craigslist, right? Or something like that? Facebook Marketplace?
Facebook, yeah.
Okay. Did the
Um,
person that you got the bike off of, were they there? Like, were they like, oh yeah, I'm doing that race too. This
no,
is my old
no, I
bike.
don't think they do. I don't think they do triathlons. It's like a shop that the guy has.
Wait, say that again?
It's like a shop that the guy has.
Oh, okay. He just has
Yeah.
old bikes on there. Okay. Cool. So you're going through the bike. Did you see any kind of like impressive things that other people were doing, or like someone whizzed by you and like, whoa, that guy just flew up that hill, or any kind of crazy things where you're like, up, three people just crashed, and I need to avoid that. Like I'm also thinking to like the CrossFit Games where they would get into those little packs and one person goes down and then everybody goes down.
Yeah, there were definitely a few mechanical things that I saw. People with like flats. um,
Mm.
and just other things. Like I think on one of the uphills, somebody like broke something on their bike. I don't know if it was even like the clip-in shoes as they were doing it, if it got undone or something like that. But yeah, there were quite a few people stopped for mechanical things. Um, yeah,
That's tough.
for
And
me,
you probably don't have a kit on you to fix something like, or is that built into
you
the bike
do.
where you can have a little box or something?
I mean, I had a bag strapped to my bike, um, and a lot of people do. In those more expensive bikes, they have like all that stuff built in.
Mm.
But there's only so much you can do, and even the knowledge of like if I was to get a flat tire in my car right now, like how long would it take me to change that tire? Um, all of that. Same thing for the bike.
I'd just be calling
And
AAA. I'd be
I
call
think for
AAA and
me
I'll wait.
too, if the for that race for it to just be a bike and run, if anything went wrong with my bike, I think I would call it.
No.
Just because you're already down to two elements and then you essentially have to stop for a very long time to fix something on your bike, like it's already not your day. But
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's not like it's just going to make your time longer, right? But yeah, and but you persevered through the flat.
I guess
We were actually wondering because no one had like a clear like we were like all right, he left at like 9:05 and it's 10:21, so he should be coming soon, right? And then we started having whispers in our groups on like maybe he got a flat tire or something, something's going on. We were just wondering where you were after a while.
yeah, no, I mean, I think at one point Schaff was like, "Oh, how long do you think the 18-mile bike would take you? Like an hour?" And I'm like, "Do you guys understand speed and how that works on a bike? Like, for me to do that, I would have to average 18 miles per hour on the bike. That's very fast. And I'm hitting like 20 something on the biggest downhill. And
Well, I
it's
mean,
so much uphill.
to be fair, people don't know the hills and stuff, and they already know that you're fit and strong. So like it's everyone's perception of you. So I would look at that as like a compliment. I'm like people just assume you're gonna do really really well and like oh he'll be back in like yeah, an hour. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's Miguel.
It doesn't
Like
translate. It honestly, I wish it did. Like, I'm sure stronger legs help, but if you don't know the bike, like, you can't use that.
yeah. Well, and that's
Yeah.
just the thing of like yeah, I mean like I did I heard some not favorable comments about CrossFit from people at the event, but it's just it's coming from a place of ignorance of CrossFit, to put it that way. It's like, all right, we are at a specialist event, and in CrossFit we claim to not specialize. We want to be generally fit. We want to be able to ride a bike and to swim and to do these things, but not like be at the level of someone who only
Right.
does this. And if you were someone who does do the triathlon and stuff like that, CrossFit would support that training, but not the other way around. So it's just funny how like just like the comments I heard about like CrossFit, it's like, yeah, you really don't know what you're talking about, and you also probably haven't like actually tried it. And if you did, I understand people have bad experiences, but that's another thing where CrossFit gyms are not all the same. Just like I would imagine not all triathlete clubs and stuff are not the same, where I could go
Right.
to one and have a bad experience and go to another one. So it's just funny how, like, I don't know. I hear comments like that, and it's like, it's the same thing at weightlifting. It's like you're at a specialist event, just because we do
Yeah.
weightlifting and CrossFit doesn't mean anything. And we're not claiming anything either.
Mhm.
At least I don't think
Yeah.
CrossFit people are claiming to be superior in any way, unless we're talking about the fittest in the world stuff. All right, you get Tia Toomey showing up to the Crystal Lake Coffee. She's winning. Like she's just outrageously fit.
Sure. I don't know if she beats Kate.
Oh, that'd be a fun head to head. Let's do it. But anyways, you understand what I'm saying. Um, so the bike finishes, and now you're on the run. Quick transition time. I think only a minute 12. Where was your chip? Was it on the ankle or like you were chipped,
Yeah,
right?
left ankle.
Cool. So you get off the bike. How do you feel getting off it and like just standing on two legs and moving around and getting ready to
It's
run?
fine.
Feels fine. That's good.
I feel like with this distance, it doesn't matter. Like it sucks and it's hilly, but I don't think it like really takes your legs out like that. I think more biking would hurt, but I
Mhm.
think running is different enough
Yeah.
and you can use different things. Like you don't need to do like a full knees to chest run. So like your quads get a little break, your hamstrings get a little break just because the range isn't as extreme. So you can kind of just go.
Well, the bike, you finish in an hour and 26 minutes, 11 seconds. Then a quick transition. And I was happy, but also surprised at how quickly you came back from the bike. I was like, whoa, oh, he's starting already like that. Because there were some people who would disappear for a while, and you would just notice them. Oh, there's that guy again. So that was cool to
Yep.
see you come back so quickly. And then I think you did really well on the run for a 24:46. That's pretty darn good. How do both of those times compare to when you were training? Because you did the full courses, right? Did you do them there or just the distances, other places?
No, I never like combined the full 18 miles with the run before. I've done like runs off of the bike, but I mean, that's like going back to the car, putting my bike back in the car,
Hmm.
drinking water, changing my shoes, all of
Well,
that.
how about the
Oh,
individual components? When you did in training the the 18 miles on the bike, how did your time compare?
oh, I was way faster at the race.
Hmm.
I mean, I think, and I was pausing it when I did it the first time. So I think I clocked in at like an hour 33 or 35 the first time I did it. And that's with when I reached halfway, I stopped for maybe a couple minutes. And then I think the first half, I also stopped for like another two or three. So probably total elapsed time. The first time I did it was probably like an hour 45.
Wow, that's a great improvement. Did you have any goals set for yourself? Okay, I want to it'd be nice, and I want to push to try to get sub 90 minutes on the bike, knowing where I'm normally at, or I want to get sub 30 minutes on the run. Like, did you have any kind of goals like that going in?
No, no, definitely not.
Just do it and see where it all lands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
a
for the bike,
nice thing too.
especially.
Less expectations.
Yeah. For the bike, I don't even know really what to do to be faster other than, all right, you can probably pedal a little bit harder here. Other than that, I have no like strategy really. It's doing what I can. And then, yeah, I mean, even the transition, I had my phone in my bike bag and then I was tracking it on Strava. So as I was leaving, I was like, oh, I still have to turn off this biking portion. So like that was part of my transition time. Then I left the wrong way out of the transition area. And then they were like, oh no, you have to go around. So I had to turn around and then go and do that also.
That's actually
Um,
funny that you did that because remember the last 2 years of us watching, we kept seeing everyone do that, and then
yeah, yeah,
that's how easy it is to do that. Where like you've already seen two separate races of people making that exact same mistake, And then when you're in it, you're like, oh yeah, I can see how that happens. I just did it.
Yeah,
That's your
because it's
12
not
seconds right
even,
there.
yeah. So, um, but yeah, I also noticed that I think there were people doing relays, and I saw somebody start going around the like corral area when I got turned, and then I passed them, and then as we were going up that first hill, I passed a couple people as well, and I usually run with my phone because I'm really trying to stay like consistent with paces, and yeah, didn't have my phone for the run or anything to reference other than feel. So I went out and I knew that I was going out pretty hot, but it was just like hold it until you can't. And then maybe I'll get a little boost at the end too. But yeah, that was probably the fastest I've run.
Does that start? Because like I noticed, like first it's a little bit of an incline, then it starts to curve, and you come downhill towards the street. Does that like did that like encourage like momentum? Like all right, I'm running a little faster because I got this first little tiny downhill, and plus the crowd's there cheering for you and stuff.
You mean at the beginning of the run?
Yeah, at the beginning, because you said you felt like you went out too hot, or is that the bike?
No, that's the run. I mean, people say it's like a downhill run, but it's really I feel like there are a good amount of climbs.
Yeah. No, I just mean the very beginning. Like it kind of starts and then like it comes down a little bit at an angle towards the main street. So I could
Oh,
see how
yeah.
like you would start to pick up a little bit of momentum there.
Yeah, but I mean then it goes right back into another uphill for a bit. But no, I mean I
So
could
where
feel it.
did you start? Where did you so just mentally you just felt good and you started hot.
Yeah, no, I just went out and then I figured I would die off if it's too fast. Um, because I mean I started out like as soon as I started running, I went out pretty fast. Um, and then I just tried to hold on to it for as much as possible.
Nice. And I'm trying to think. So on the bike, you guys went to the right and then came back from that direction. The run was a little different. Did that go? It definitely didn't, I don't think, went towards the gas station. So this looped around the houses, a slightly different route.
Uh, no, so we went left and then we went all the way around the lake and then came back.
Okay, around the lake. Hmm. Anything you see out there with other people? Anyone? I did see as I was leaving, I saw some people walking, but I don't imagine there was anything else crazy out there outside of cars.
Right. No, I mean, I guess the only surprising thing is that only one person passed me on the run, but I passed like a lot of people.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I feel like yeah, I also got lucky in that like the run isn't necessarily a skill for me. It's just like fitness, where my fitness is at. So that's the one thing that I guess I could draw on. Whereas like the bike is skilled, the swim is very skilled. Um, but to me, like, oh, I don't have to deal with any of the other things. It's really just hold till I can't. And it's the last thing. And
Yeah.
how long can I just hold on to this? So I didn't slow down. I almost didn't grab water at the aid station because I didn't want to have to slow down to drink it. So I just like squeezed it twice and then threw it out in the trash can like before the bottle was even done because I didn't want to deal with that. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure if I even slowed down on the run like at all. I'm sure that there were moments where I was a little bit slower, but I feel like I was pretty consistent with my run pace the entire time.
You looked like when you left, you looked very similar when you were coming back in. Like
Yeah.
you weren't like laboring. Like if anything, maybe I don't know, maybe you sped up towards the end there because like, oh, it's the finish, and you saw
Yeah.
people and you had the energy to cheer and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, he's moving at a really good clip right now.
Yep.
That's the cool thing about an event like this. You know, like there's opportunities to catch people. Like people may have beaten you or passed you on the bike, but then here you are catching up with them on the run. And the same thing with the
Yeah.
swim, had that been a thing. So there's opportunities on a race like that, and that's cool. That like it's not a guarantee unless you're the first guy. There was one guy, he finished the whole thing in an hour. Like that first guy that they let out, when he was coming
Yeah.
back, and we were like, wait a minute, he's back on the run right now. That was impressive.
Yeah. I was thinking about it for the full thing, that I was like, there's a chance that there are people who are done with the full thing before I like get going on the bike.
Yeah.
Because again, yeah, some people can do that swim in probably under 10 minutes. Um, so for them, they're not even toweling off or anything, just running, probably no socks, straight into their shoes, and
Oh
then
gosh,
getting going on the bike.
they're uh, they're just gonna dry off with the wind because they're going so fast.
Yeah, that's how people do it. And I mean, especially for a sprint, like getting back into the race is so different for so many different people. Like if you're a person who does multiple full Ironmans or half Ironmans, this race it's genuinely a sprint to you. Like you're probably seeing how fast you can do each thing. It's probably your
Yeah.
opportunity to go a little bit more reckless and see if that strategy works out for you, because it's not as much of a, if you want to go no socks for the first time, it's easier to do that on a 3 mile run than on a marathon. So this is where you test down, like, how did that feel just for those 3 miles? Like they're going out at paces that, you know, are insanely fast because they know what they can do for a full,
Yeah.
multiple times this distance race.
But it's cool to. I mean, every sport has that, just the different levels. Like weightlifting, you've got people snatching 50 kilos, and then people snatching 150 kilos, and it's I don't know. It's harder. It's impressive, but it looks differently when you try to like rationalize it in your head than when you see the differences in like endurance stuff, where people will finish things crazy fast, and for other people the sprint is like, this is going to be a long drawn out
Yeah.
marathon type of a thing for them. Like with me, there were people who finished 28 miles running up and down the mountain in less time it took me to do the one loop, and
Right.
they're lapping me, and I'm like, oh, they're and I had people say hello to me. They're like, hello again. I'm like, damn it, like they caught back up to me. But so it's like, it, it's I guess maybe it's just because like everyone can understand time more than they can understand weight, and that's what makes it seem more impressive, almost,
Right.
or even though they're like a very similar thing on just the disparity of levels. Because like a lot of people don't understand even what the lower 40 kilo snatch is supposed to even feel like or be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
know, oh, it takes me 45 minutes to walk a mile. Wow, you can run it in 4 minutes. All right, wow, I can get that.
Yep.
It's a cool thing. So you get done with the run, 24:46, finish the whole thing in an hour and 52 minutes and 7 seconds. Place fourth in the men's 25 to 29 age group, 142nd overall, and 86 out of 95 in the men. So that's a good showing. First time, first doing it.
Yeah.
And now we have room for improvement. Next year rolls around. Hey, we're gonna be top 60 of all the men. Like we set, you could set some goals with it. Set some goals, and you're gonna take the rest of the. You're not gonna do another one, this year. Although I did hear there's an Olympic or something in Lake Placid or Lake George in like a week or two.
Yeah.
There's probably
There's
opportunities.
They have some in Lake George. They have a bunch all probably throughout probably October is when they're done, I would
Hmm.
assume.
Well, I bet October is a nice time of year to do something like this, where it's like it's gonna be cool. Well, I mean, who knows anymore? I would assume
Yeah.
it's gonna be on the cooler side of things. Are you going to like casually go to events and like check things out and study the sport that way? You know, like, oh, there's a race going there. Let me go see what the vibe is, what's happening, or take a little break completely.
Um, yeah, I have no real desire to like, at least not right now. I think it's cool, but I mean, I've already like I've gone to Lake Placid and I've seen back when Kate and when Deanna was here, when they started doing all this stuff. I went to a bunch of races years ago.
Hmm.
Um, so like I know what it's like to spectate. Um, I would say just based on like original purpose of doing this in just like new skills that I know I don't have in developing those, I would join the Capital District Tri Club that Josh is in as well, like next spring, and then just training that more. Just because I mean, I've had pretty positive experiences with everyone there as well, just in the few times that I've been around. So, and I have a bunch of other people that I know now that do these things. So, it would be cool to do that. But yeah, not really. I feel very content at the moment in terms of like exposure to triathlon, just because the buildup was so like my algorithm is all triathlon stuff and it's just anxiety inducing. So for now, I'm good on a break. And then, yeah,
Well, and you've had like this thing, I mean, any event is like this, but like it looms over you. Like you signed,
yeah,
when did you sign up for this? January?
yeah, it was either January or February. Let me see if
So
I have the date.
early winter, you sign up, and now it's like, boy, this is going to dominate my life literally for the entire year. And like way back on those discussions, we were even talking about it like, all right, when are you going to start this? When are you going to do that? You know, and you were still planning it out. But it's still like, it's like a book report that's due at the end of the semester. And you're like, I should start
Yeah,
that at some point, and it's just weighing on you all the time. It's but it's a good thing though because it does keep you motivated and driven towards something. It is good to have something on the calendar, although something on the calendar does affect you psychologically and adds stress, you know,
yeah,
it's both a good thing and I don't want to say a bad thing. It's just maybe it's just a stressful thing, you know, like oh my goodness, I gotta do that. Um, but then when you're on the other side of it, it all becomes worth it. So would you
yeah.
say now being on the other side of it, like all everything that you went through, all the anguish even, totally worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I looked, it was January 17th that I officially signed up for it. I
Hmm.
think also with it being at the end of summer, like mid-August, kind of does something because it's my first one and everything is so unknown. I think it just made everything in the summer like a question of I didn't want it to be I didn't want to have a lot of conversations of like, well, if I did this or if I didn't do this, then this would have been my result. So I think that kind of just threw off the summer. I mean, even with me staying in barbell for as long as I did, like every time I was going, I was like, is this a mistake? Like, should I be spending time doing the other things? And then talking to other people and them going like, your fitness level is fine. Like, you don't need to be like training these things all the time. And yeah, it was just a question mark for like the whole summer. And it's enjoying the summer still. And its friends are doing things. And I'm big on like supporting my friends and the things that they do as well. So going to things and staying up late potentially and weddings and other things, and then almost having to put that on the side, be like, I don't want to regret this on my race day. I'm doing this. So it was just a build up in anxiety, I feel, because it was so unknown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can never go wrong, I don't think, with strength training because it's gonna help. Like it pays to be strong, you know.
Right.
And the way that you did it, it didn't go into like too much like overdoing it, where like it is the primary training. Like you did taper off it, I think very well, and upheld your strength numbers too, because you really don't want to get on the other side of this as well and be like, now I have to rebuild completely that other thing. Whereas I think it'll come back quicker than you think with consistency. And also, you need to be able to enjoy life. Like if this was like your like seventh race and you're doing them all the time and stuff like that, and you have even bigger ones and these big goals and expectations for yourself, then I could see like, all right, my friends want to go out and whatnot. Like you're not really in a position where you have to sacrifice things.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing out of this too, that you didn't treat it like that, that you still allowed yourself to have a life and to enjoy all those things. Because I think if you would have gone the other route, I think you would maybe be on the other side of this and like completely hate it and
Right.
hold that against the sport and not be open to doing another one. Because like, well, I'm not gonna let that take over my life again. So I do think that, from the outside looking in, I think you made good decisions on all fronts,
Yeah.
with your training and also your social life and allowing yourself to have one, you know. Now, if you
Yeah.
ever decide to do the full Ironman and you're going to go to Worlds and stuff like that, yeah, that's the reality of it. Less degrees of freedom. That's what advancing through a sport kind of gets you. But then
Yeah.
I think as you go through a sport, you do start to become okay with it because the prize at the end starts to definitely become the thing that where you're like, no, that's worth it to me. Imagine if you
Yeah.
were a bodybuilder. All right, if you're gonna go to the Arnold and get on stage, you're like, no, 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 I need to get up at 5 a.m. And this is like that is so freaking important that I do well at that I'm okay with not going out tonight and drinking
Yeah.
beers and stuff. But we don't need to be like that. We can just
Yeah.
enjoy and have experiences and do them all. Is is there anything that you're going to take from the triathlete training, the competition, just the whole thing? Anything that you can take with you into other sports? CrossFit, weightlifting, competitive pickleball when you pick that up eventually someday. Like anything really. What transfers? What can you bring with you? Might even just be mindset related.
Yeah, it's hard to say just because of the type of athlete that I am. Only thing that can transfer is, at least for me, that I was able to like kind of use was just like knowing what I'm capable of in other things. So I don't, an 18-mile bike with hills is something completely new. So I don't have anything that I can go like, oh, but I've done this because it's not the same. But I do know like, okay, I am strong. I know that I can squat this much. I know that I'm this powerful, whatever. Cool. I also know, I think my biggest thing for this race was that I figured things out. Um, and that was kind of what I brought into it, is that I can figure things out. And I think the same thing leaving this is just, I'll figure it out at some point. Um,
When
but it's hard.
CrossFit trains
It's
you
different.
for the unknown and the unknowable, you know, and
Yeah.
you kind of always have that going into everything with you.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. It's so different. I
Wait,
need
say that again?
everyone to go on that bike course.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's not good.
Hey, we could program it one day. Everyone, the Sunday 10 a.m. is going to be at this location at this time. Block out this amount of time because it's going to take longer in class. I mean, that's that's something that we don't do, and I don't know if many gyms in the area do it or do it that often, but that is an option. Like
Yeah.
if you ever wanted to do something like that, and you're like, hey, okay, on a Sunday, can we do this? Can we meet at Sakati or not Sakati, the crossings, and we're gonna do X, Y, Z. We would just put it out there. It would be something that you would need to plan in advance, not like an event, just giving people a heads up, like, hey, 10 a.m. class is not here, it's there. And of course, people are still gonna show up and be like, where's it's just a whole thing. But that's something that we could do. It's something we should probably do more often.
Hmm. Yeah, like off-site training every now and then.
Yeah, once in a while, like, all right, we're gonna run this route. We're gonna do stuff in the grass here. We should do that more often, and we could, and I don't think there'd be anything out of the blue, or I mean not out of the blue, but unreasonable with being like, hey, we're gonna do Miguel's bike loop, or something like that, and then scale, like we scale it. Of course, you have to
Right.
have a bike. We're not going to provide you a bike, or yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, that would be cool.
Yeah. We need to get people outside their comfort zones, one step at a time. It was nice seeing um, other people there that we knew. Laura Gallery, Albany CrossFit alumni, was there, and she did the race and did well. I saw a picture; she podiumed for her age group.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a podium. Did you know there was going to be a podium?
I figured, but I didn't mean to stay, honestly. It was only because Kate won. Um, but the way that they did it, I guess if you got top three overall in men or women, it essentially takes you out of your age group. So then it trickles down. So that's how I got third in my age group, I think,
Hmm.
because whoever got first in our age group also was in the top three overall.
Oh, I got to edit the post then.
I mean, I don't know how, I think you're technically right, but
No,
um,
I'll just keep it safe. I'll put first. We'll just change it.
but yeah, no, because I was standing there, I was literally talking while they were like announcing. I didn't even hear them say my age group, and then I heard my name, and I was like,
Well,
I heard my first name first, and it was like, oh, there was another Miguel, and then I heard my name, and I was like, oh, no way. But also, I don't know, triathlon is a weird sport. My age group, I would say, is like probably one of the more underrepresented groups.
yeah,
Like the
there weren't
younger
that
you
many.
go for triathlon, the less athletes you'll see. Um, so I feel like most triathletes, like average age, are like mid 30s, I would say. Probably older for a triathlon, probably plus 35. It probably is
Well,
like
I think
masters.
well, I think it's one of those sports where if you're old, like you can afford things, so you're old enough to afford things, you might have more time. You might also be a little more seasoned in that, oh,
Yep.
you were a swimmer or you were this, and now you're just adding in other things. You can afford the lessons and all that stuff. Because there is a financial component to all the sports, but
Very
and this
much.
this one seems like not as like upfront, on like it's like, oh yeah, now you need this suit and then you need that thing and that clip and that clip's $45. Like it's just so that makes sense on why maybe it's more of a masters dominated kind of a thing. And also it's interesting too because like when you finish, they kind of give you the medals right away. They're like here you go. Like, was there
Yeah.
a different medal or anything for the podium, or they're just like bring that medal
Um,
to the podium?
I don't have it. It's you get like a cup that has like the Crystal Lake Triathlon. It's actually pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay, that's cool.
And then if you were first in any of those groups, you got a $15 Stewart's gift card.
Nice. All right.
So it's
Hey,
just a different class that you get.
that's 3 pints of happy camper right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And that is cool. There's a different thing. I like. like with the master swim meets that I've done, they don't even do medals. They're just like, get out of here. You got your time, because there's just so many events and so many, heats and everything going, that it's just running on a clock. And I think for like the triathlon, people just kind of finish, and like you're not going to wait. Like, let's say if you crush it, like you're that guy. I guess if you know you're finishing first place, you're gonna wait to get that cup and stuff. But most other people, they're like, well, I'm just gonna go home now, and because like people were just like finishing, and then like they'd hang out for a bit and then get in their car and go. But you already got your medal, so it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
why would you wait? Boy, I wish we
No,
could do that in
there's
weightlifting. Just give people here's your medal, get out of here.
so there's something with the Ironmans and the half Ironmans where, like how Kate goes to Worlds and things like that. You get there through, I think you have to be top, I think it's top 3 in the race in your age group. And that's how you qualify for Worlds. And it's very well known that you have to be at the ceremony to accept that to be able to
Mm.
go to Worlds. So
Oh,
even
okay.
if you got first in your age group, if they announce it and you're not there, your spot then goes to the 4th and they go to Worlds. Even if that was your goal to make it to Worlds, if you're not there when they announce it, like they literally have to mark it off as like you don't qualify at this one anymore.
Oh boy. I
Yeah.
I think that's fair for the sport to ask that of you, like I know I hate seeing like a podium with a hole in it, like especially
Yeah.
when the first place person like couldn't be bothered to stay to get their medal. It
Yeah.
is like in weightlifting 30 years ago, it would be like disrespectful to like not wait like to get your medal. Like, okay, the meet's still going on, but like you worked hard for this, you earned this, and then you have second and third place there, and then there's just like a gap. Or look at all the situations of where the coach comes to accept the medals. Like there was a time when that wasn't a thing. So I think
Right.
it's cool that Ironman and these other endurance sports are like, nah, if you can't do this, you're out. Like you won it, but like we're not going to do that. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot.
No, it is always odd to have gaps in podiums. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. If we tried to institute that now in weightlifting, there'd be all kinds of complaints and whatnot, and people like, no, I got to go. But I can understand that for like a local meet, but at the bigger ones. But then I guess you could argue too the way that like I like look at like the national events. Like sometimes it's crazy, and now they've just kind of moved the medal ceremony to a hallway. And like, all right, there's all kinds. We
Yeah.
just got to get
Yeah.
our act together. We just got to get our act together, right? In weightlifting. At Worlds in weightlifting, at least they got it locked down. Imagine how weird that would be at like the World Championships, and like there's a gap on the podium. Like
Yeah.
I I actually wonder what if there is some kind of a rule or something with that, like how that would go. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I'll ask. I'll find out. Because like that almost seems like it'd be unheard of. Like, oh, here's the Olympics. The guy was just there, the lady was just there, and then they're not on the podium.
I think that has happened
Protest.
actually. Yeah, with like, hey, that we're currently at war. I'm not going to stand on the podium with this person. I think there have been a few of those,
Hmm.
um, but not like, I'm upset that I got third, so I'm not going to go to the podium type of deal.
Gosh, it has to have happened though. I can see that happening too.
Yeah, for sure, for
Like
sure.
you got that bad call, and you're like, no, I'm not going out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can see that. Uh, cool. Well, any other thoughts on just the whole experience?
Um, no, it was fun. I'm glad people came to watch. That was nice. It was appreciated. Um, I do like the whole thing. I've had pretty positive experiences with the people I've met through. I mean, even like Run Club, there are people I know from Run Club who I'm like, oh, you also do triathlons. People from previous CrossFits or different CrossFit that I know that, you know, meet up there. And um, so, yeah, it's just another community, honestly, of like, oh, this is another group of people that I'm going to like collect in my like whole thing. Um, and yeah, I'm going to keep training the things. I think that's what I'll pull from this is that I probably won't touch my bike for a couple weeks. But I plan on still swimming definitely through the winter, because I still have my YMCA membership. And yeah, running, I feel more comfortable running. And I think I had the goal also on my card that I'll have to start checking off things of getting under 25 minutes for a 5K. And with this time, I was pretty close to that. It's not a full 5K this run, so I can't mark it off or even like do the math for it. But I think that's attainable before probably the end of summer, whenever we decide that summer's over. Um,
And
but
a different
yeah, that's
course
another
too.
thing as
Like if you
well.
have a, let's say, more favorable course, that would help you do that.
Yeah, yeah. So gonna try to continue on with that training, get back into weightlifting. My body is definitely in a weird spot, so we'll see how weight training will feel again as I slowly get back into it. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I mean of course you need a physical rest, but you also need a mental rest too.
yeah,
And that even goes with like signing up for something and be like, ah, I have another job to do, you know, like
yeah,
that kind of a thing. And I'm like I like hearing that you're going to keep swimming. I mean, you know, like I've been preaching about swimming. You know, it's so good for you. And
yeah,
it's so good for the joints and everything. And with being a weightlifter and an impact, you know, sport, and even doing CrossFit, boy, it's so good for you. You know,
yeah,
so I definitely think keeping that through the winter, and you probably haven't even begun to like experience the benefits of like swimming because like you've also been like so focused on technique and then
right,
survival and things like that. So I think once you get into like that sweet spot where you're like, I'm just gonna go and like do casual laps or do this or do you know, I think it's gonna be a game changer for you on how things
yeah,
feel. And the bike thing I think is cool too because you mentioned before you have that home station where you can just be like, oh, it's a snowstorm outside, let me watch a podcast or a movie and put in some miles on the bike
right,
and
yep,
that's so good too. And it's not like an assault bike. It's like this is like different, you know. So I think
yeah,
those are two great things. It's like yeah, keep them, and I think you'll do that 5K goal, no problem. And I think the most important thing that you said though is the community aspect of it. Like we've met so many people that get like addicted to gym training. They gotta come in
hmm,
every day and do this. They gotta do that. And like they don't allow themselves to like do other things for the social elements. And
yeah,
it's like, yeah, like join the run club, do the triathlon club in the spring and like meet those people. But you could meet your wife or something at the triathlon club in spring or like you never know. Like you have to do different things. You can't just be all your eggs in one basket all the time. Because that's
yeah,
also
exactly.
how you burn out one basket. And then you start to just like be like, ah, I don't want to do it anymore, and you stop. Like how many people have we seen take CrossFit way too far than they ever should have for what they would ultimately be able to do with it, right?
Yeah, yep,
And so you should have just had
yeah,
more fun with it.
yeah. No, I think another thing to pull from this is that next year, I think I'd be more willing to train with other people as well. Um, this year, because it was just survival, I was like, other people will distract me from like what I know I need to focus on and what I need to do. But this year it would be more like, all right, what are you doing? Or, I might have if I join the Tri Club, like basic coaching of like, here's what you can do for this week, if not like a one-on-one coach,
Yeah.
and then knowing people that like, oh, let's just go on a ride, a casual ride, or a casual swim, or like that's another thing. I mean, I could only go to the lake on days that they had like lake days, but we could go to another lake, and then you have someone on a kayak where you're like, all right, we can trade off and then practice open water swimming without it being this big formal thing. But yeah, I think next year will just be training with people. I mean, the people that showed up for me yesterday too, it's like so many different groups represented too. A big one, obviously, being the gym, but like friends from that I've known since a kid, from here, there, whatever, and other people at the race that I also know from different things. So yeah, I think next year would be cool to train with different people doing different things, and yeah, just building that like community group as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're unique in that you have such a base of competition and being an athlete and also a coach, where it's like, all right, I'm going to do this, but I don't want all those distracting inputs, So like I think you were a perfect example of someone who could like get away with that.
Hmm.
Versus other people, it's like, no, you should be in a group and get people
Yeah.
to help you and stuff, because like you don't even know yourself in this kind of a situation, let alone how to do all these other things and react to different
Yeah.
situations. And you've also done so many hard things that this is just it's just another day in the office, just another hard thing, that you'll get on the other side of. So it's cool to see the progression, And it's like,
Yeah.
could Miguel 8 years ago have done this? 10 years ago
Hmm.
have done this? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like you have all that time of experience and wisdom that you've accumulated under it to help you
Right.
through it. Yeah. And then maybe next year, get that swimming. What
Yeah.
How crazy would that be? You're like, all right, I'm gonna do it again, go check out that swimming, and it's another foggy day. It just keeps.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Well, awesome. Good job, Miguel. It's another
Thank you.
goal checked off, and now you have peace for a little bit until 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 our old friend weightlifting comes walking around. Like,
Yeah.
is weightlifting kind of like Thanos? It's like, where does it all bring you? Right back to me. I'm just here. Just
Yeah.
comes walking
Yeah.
back in the room and sits down right across me. He's like, "Hello, Miguel. How about that 100 kilo snatch?" It's like, just it's always there. Which you snatched what, 90, 91 deep into training for this? We like that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
I feel like that's like the weightlifting gods being like, it'd be really funny if we have him snatch 91 right now. When, like, remember when he was like deep in training for weightlifting and those hard days to snatch 90, and like we
Right.
wouldn't give it to him, but now he's been doing all this endurance training and he probably shouldn't be able to snatch 90. Let's just do that today. Yeah, I like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
so I remember you were kind of annoyed when you did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, weightlifting. What a creature. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Miguel, where can people follow you?
Couldn't be Miguel on Instagram.
Couldn't be Miguel. Follow Albany CrossFit and check out the videos. All right. How about, again, I'll toot my. Did you see that pan when you were coming by? That professional pan? Not once did you leave the frame. Boy,
Yeah,
I
that was
was
good. Good.
I was proud of that. So you got to lock in the elbows and shoulders, and you move the body, not the
Yep.
camera, not like this. You got to move the body. I've been getting a lot of practice with it. So my future career is a cameraman. I do think it'd be fun to be a cameraman. You got a good spot to look at stuff, and
Yeah.
just create stuff. But so yeah, follow Albany CrossFit, Albany CrossFit Barbell Club. with soon to be future videos of Miguel on there doing more weightlifting. And then follow me if you want to, James A. McDermott. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Good job again, Miguel.
Thank you.